Welcome to our executive video series here at the Zero Trust Summit, and we're here with Terry Halvorsen, VP of Federal Client Development for U.S. Federal Market at IBM. Terry, it's always so good to see you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Great to see you, and thanks for FedScoop. This has been a great event today.
So Terry, as we get started, I'm curious, what are some of the most significant technical challenges that government agencies currently face in establishing a zero trust environment?
Great question. I'm going to change it just a little bit at first to say I think the biggest challenge is going to be cultural and thinking. I think they've got to think about that, a different change of attitude, different way of thinking in zero trust. Zero trust makes you take a look at what is the risk analysis and also makes you recognize that you've got to protect the data, yes, but the data still has to be usable by whatever decision makers use it. So it can't make, in zero trust, you can't make the data so hard to get that it's not useful anymore. From a technical standpoint, I think it's going to be the amount of data. As you heard discussions today, and if you read any of the articles, the amount of data you have to analyze and get back out in a mission timeline has greatly increased. So I think what that means is you've got to start thinking about how do you use automation to augment your workforce, how you use augmented intelligence, I hate the word artificial intelligence, augmented intelligence to not just augment the workforce, but help process faster the data. And I think the other piece of this is how do you then design your networks to be able to move that data at mission speed. It is the area that we, I think, at IBM are focusing even on internally. You know, how do we apply augmented or AI internally? How are we using our own tools to be able to augment the workforce? I mean, it's not just government that can't get enough cyber analysts. Nobody can get enough cyber analysts. No one can get enough intelligence analysts. No one can get enough business analysts. And you get the point. We could just go on and on. So I think that's going to be one of the key challenges, is providing the right technology to help augment all of the analysts that are out there and to get that data at mission speed. And we've got to do a better job at that.
And, you know, in closing, what are the most significant operational challenges that government agencies face in establishing a zero trust environment as opposed to those technical ones?
Yeah, I think we just talked about that. It is thinking differently. I mean, I almost wished we hadn't coined zero trust, because one of the things, and you've heard everybody talk about, that you have to do to get this right is you do have to have some trust with other agencies, trust for partnership. I think the biggest challenge that we're going to face now is how do we, industry, how do we, government, pool resources to attack the cybersecurity problem? Today, almost every agency, almost every company's got to manage all aspects of the cybersecurity program. That's very costly, and it creates seams in exchanging the data. I think as we go to zero trust, what I'm hoping what will evolve there is a more coordinated pooled effort where we actually share responsibilities across government agencies and across industry. We talked today about when you want to get into control systems, I think that has to have some sharing data in it, and we've got to be able to trust that when industry shares data with the government, it'll stay where it needs to be, and when the government shares data with industry, same thing applies. But I think there's some areas that, you know, we need to give industry more of the threat picture. And I think industry's got to be faster in reporting when they do have incidents. That requires both of those, that we've got great trust between each other. And I think then somehow we have to share responsibilities, and, you know, maybe an oversimplification, but you could see something where, you know, big industry, big government helps smaller industry, smaller agencies coordinate their cybersecurity responses and cybersecurity efforts. There's so many seams when you say everybody's got to do it on their own, and I think we've got to come up with a better way of doing that if we're going to win the cyber war.
That makes sense. Terry, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Thanks so much for your time today.
Same here. Thank you for the time, and again, it was a super event today, so thank you.
Thank you.